got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on.
Hi, Room 21 Rockstar families, and welcome to our weekly VODCAST. You know, I'm coming to you this week from the Barrett Elementary Emergency Room. I am in dire need of the Room 21 Rockstars tomorrow to save a patient who was so stressed about his math SOL that he ended up in our emergency room. So, your scholars have to come prepared tomorrow, ready to operate on our patient and prep for our math SOL coming up. You know, he has a steady heart rate right now, but we need to make sure that he continues that vital heart rate and is ready to rock and roll for his math SOL. So, some very quick announcements for you guys, and then I got to get back into the emergency room. First of all, coming up this week on Tuesday, we do have our math SOL. That's taking place this Tuesday. So, once again, same routine. Make sure that your scholar gets a great night's sleep. Make sure that they eat a full breakfast in the morning, and make sure that they come ready to rock and roll with their incredible Barrett effective effort and attitude. You know, they put in so much effort for our reading SOL earlier last week. I am so incredibly proud of the Room 21 Rockstars and cannot wait to see what they bring for our SOL coming up here on Tuesday with math. So tomorrow we're going to be reviewing all day long, getting ready for that math SOL. Coming up on Friday, number one, Friday is a full day of school. We have field day happening until about 1:30 p.m. All outside. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day, so make sure that your scholar brings some water, brings a water bottle, make sure they put on some sunblock, and wear clothes that are appropriate for the warm weather that we'll be experiencing outside. And then we do have a full day of school that day, like I said, due to the snow, and we're actually going to be practicing for Academy graduation, so it's going to be vital that your scholar is there so that we can get ready for that. Some exciting things coming up next week, Room 21 Rockstar families. First of all, next Tuesday, May 31st, we will be going directly over to North Stafford High School right after school that day. I'm going to be sending home a permission form. Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Sutton, and our class is going to be going over to North Stafford to practice for Academy graduation, which is later in the week, that Friday on June 3rd. So it's a totally free trip. We're just going to load up onto the school buses, head over to North Stafford, and practice until 6 p.m. All that we ask from you guys is, number one, that you sign the permission form coming home this week, tomorrow actually, and that you pick up your scholar in the North Stafford High School cafeteria at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, May 31st. We're going to have about an hour and a half practice to make sure that we're ready to go for North Stafford on Friday, June 3rd. And that brings up a big day that we have coming up. On Friday, June 3rd, you want to invite your friends, your neighbors, anybody you know to our tradition, the third annual Barrett Academy graduation of the classes of Smith, Sutton, and Reichard, taking place at North Stafford High School, 6:30 p.m., Friday, June 3rd. It is going to be incredible, Room 21 Rockstar families. I cannot wait for that magical night. A couple of other quick announcements. First of all, some of your scholars came home with the letter telling them that they would be taking the Knowledge Master test for the next level of math for middle school. That will be taking place on June 1st. And additionally, I'm trying to find if I have anything else for you guys that is pertinent and coming up. Well, our science SOL is actually taking place on Thursday, June 2nd. So we're going to be preparing for that as soon as we save our patient in the Barrett ER tomorrow in class. You know, Room 21 Rockstar families, I have to get back to my patients because right now we have a lot of stuff and math to do to save our patients in the Barrett ER. So I'm going to see you guys on the... Okay, Room 21 Rockstars, I'm starting you off on our homepage, RegardRockstars.weebly.com, and I thought that I should start with an incredibly special announcement because the House Point race is literally coming to an end in a blink of an eye, and that announcement is that this is a double House Point week. Who is going to rise above and win the House Point competition? It all comes down to your effective effort. So, double House Point week. Come on in, bring in those house points, complete a few things online. You can also complete the newsletter challenge on the back of our newsletter and also get those house points doubled as well. So, who is going to bring that incredible Room 21 Rockstar effective effort? That is the question. So now I'm going to send you guys over to Well, actually, a couple of things. First of all, last week we worked on a few areas that I'm willing to give you some house points for if you want to go ahead and work on those. First of all, the interactive assessment link. Remember, those practice those TEI questions, and there are so many of them, guys, that you can go into. A few that I would star, I know a few of you have wanted to, would be the decimal division. Okay, and remember, you can submit down here to check your work. As long as you show me your work and bring it in, you're going to get 2 house points for each of these problems, but because it is a double house point week, you can double that to 4. And you may actually want to look at the different strands up at the top. So, hey, I want to work on patterns, functions, and algebra. Oh, there's a distributed property question. That would be great practice because I know a lot of you have wanted that. Or maybe some problem stats. Here are the problem stat questions, okay? We have mean, median, mode, range. We have stem and leaf plots. We have a question about mode. Maybe some of you want some computation estimation or some number and number sense. 2 house points for each of those, an incredibly great way to practice at home. The other area that you can go to practice is what we've been working on now for a couple of weeks, guys, is actually going to the Virginia Department of Education and going to the practice tests that we have been going to. We haven't gotten to all of the questions yet, so I'll also give you 2 points for each of those questions if you bring in your work as well. Okay, now a few other areas that you can work on. First of all, as you guys all know, I sent home with you there are 60 questions that you can choose from. Now, I'm not saying to do all of those, and remember it was totally optional, but you can earn a house point for each of those. But because it is a double house point week, you will get 2 for each of those questions. So you may want to flip through a couple of those questions. Go to the questions that you were focused on with your checklist last week that you maybe starred or said, oh, I want a little more work here. Because those are the areas that you're going to want to hone in on and really work to perfect over the next couple of days, okay? A couple of other areas. I have left up all of the review that we've done this year, and the other area that I showed you last week is this SOL review, and this is actually twofold. Number 1, you can practice science, and number 2, you can practice math. Okay, so if you choose math or science 5, make sure you choose our grade level. Make particular note of that right here and here. You can also choose the number of questions that you want to go with, which is really cool as well, and then it gives you sample release questions like we've been working on over the last couple of weeks. I'll give you 2 points for each of those, but because it's a double house point week, those will go to 4 as well. So who is going to rise up and get those house points for their house this week? Remember, this site is also amazing for science review as we get closer and closer to our Science SOL coming up on June 2nd. And the other thing that I have here for you guys this week are these questions that I showed you last week. I thought they're really cool because they really make you think, beyond math, science, social studies, things like that. These are Barrett Academy questions. Those questions that are going to stick with you for the rest of your life. So if you go ahead and answer one of those, bring it in. I'll make sure you're able to read it for the class if you would like. Over the next couple of days, and you'll get 5 house points, but because it's a double house point week, that will go to 10. So our secret hashtag for the week is hashtag BarrettER, because tomorrow is going to be an incredibly fun, engaging day of learning for you, the Room 21 Rockstar. So hashtag BarrettER, say that with some angst and some anxiety because, the emergency room, we have patients to operate on tomorrow. Bring that in 5 house points, but because it's a double house point week, that will double to 10. Now I'm going to send you back over to Mr. Reichard in the ER. Okay, Room 21 Rockstar families, I hope that you have an incredible week. The Room 21 Rockstars need to be ready to operate in the Barrett ER tomorrow. We have patients to save and math to review in preparation for our Math SOL coming up on Tuesday, which I know the Room 21 Rockstars are going to absolutely bring their amazing effective effort and belief in themselves on Tuesday and do incredibly well. So, without any further ado, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, remember, do not hesitate to contact me. I cannot wait for your scholars to come into the Barrett ER tomorrow. And as always, you guys are the very best families in Stafford County. And I'll see you next week.
I got this feeling inside my bones.